Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today in DC Dark Legion, we're going to talk about the Superman fam. I've gotten a lot of questions around who to prioritize. We've got 4 members of the team. We don't know when that 5th member is going to arrive, but we know we have the 4. So who should we prioritize? Who's most important? Who takes the most resources? That's what we're going to talk about. So let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So as of the recording of this video, we only have 4 members of the Superman family, and that's these 4 right here. We do have a bleed going on with Ra's al Ghul. The cool thing with that is that you can get crypto shards from that bleed, so that helps you build up crypto. But we don't have that 5th member, and we don't know when that 5th member is going to come along. So we're going to talk about this team here, what we have. We're going to talk about prioritization, who takes the most investment. There's a lot of questions around that on who you should focus on. First and foremost, though, if you are building and going all in on a Superman family, you're going to invest in all of them. But I'm going to prioritize it the best I can about how I feel is a good way to go about it and where your force is going to be best invested. And also, let's talk about a couple other members, a couple other heroes or villains I feel that would fit in pretty nicely with this team to fill that 5th spot. Before we jump into this, again, one more thing to mention. So I did float this idea in the content creator chat on the official Discord with some of the other official content creators for the game, like Tyvaka, JD the Gamer, Default Dan, really soliciting some feedback saying, hey, kind of, this is where I'm falling, this is where I'm landing. And I got a lot of good feedback in there. So part of that's going to be part of this video as well. So let's talk about prioritization. I feel first and foremost, we're going to go from highest priority to least priority, at least in my opinion. We're going to start with crypto. As you can see, I've got him up to 4 purple stars. He is absolutely critical, and I feel that he is the one that you're going to want to invest more in really early on. The cool thing is he's not a bleed character. Right, he's not a Mythic Plus. You're going to be able to get him from mother boxes. He's already in the selectable Mythic. So I got like 28 additional shards from him on there because I had a bunch saved up. So that's where I would focus on his shards, the mother boxes, the selectable Mythic packs, things like that, because he's not in a specific bleed. Other than like right now, I said he's part of the Ra's al Ghul bleed, so I can get some shards that way as well. It really incentivizes people to pull on the Ra's al Ghul bleed right now. But here's why I think he's so good. When we talk about what this guy does, he heals, right? And his healing is based on his attack. So right here, he heals allies within range of a certain percentage of his attack. So that's really what you want to focus on his force. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. We've also got this. When an ally drops below 50%, he flies to their side, granting them shields. So he's got heals, he's got shields, which is great. Also, that's equal to 340% of his attack. So there's that attack again, and healing again based on 170% of his attack. So his attack is absolutely critical here. So he's got heals, he's got shields. This has a 10-second cooldown, so just something to keep in mind there. Over here, Super Best Friend at the start of battle, he gains 50% bonus HP and increases all allies, defense, and men by 15% of his own, which is awesome. Casting his ultimate generates 4 Krypton. This is critical here. The next one, 5 purple stars, you're going to bump that up to 6 Krypton energy. He is so critical, not just because his heals and his shields, he's very, very good with that, but he's going to help build up that Krypton energy meter very, very quickly. And when we talk about the next priority character, it really builds that character and builds up their damage very, very quickly. And it's very, very cool. All right, so we've got that, and then obviously we've got this right here. This Zoom, he zips around excitedly, knocking down enemies in his path, knocking enemies down, interrupting attacks. I think that's critical. Reducing their attack as well. So he's reducing incoming damage, he's healing, he's providing shields, he's speeding up the Krypton energy meter. He also heals allies in his path for 60% of his attack. So he is very, very good. I feel that he's probably one of the best supports in the game now. Now, I have compared him. I've heard people compare him to Starfire, and maybe he's on the same level. I don't feel he's on the same level as Starfire. Starfire, I mean, I put them side by side, and I've even got Crypto higher level than Starfire, but I have more invested in Starfire as far as force. Right now, Starfire still does a better job for me right now. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll put these two together just to cover my bases, get that extra Krypton energy, especially since I don't have that 5th member. I might need a little bit of extra healing, especially in phase 2 of combat cycle, which this team does very, very well in because they have that full 2 minutes in order to build up that Krypton energy. But the quicker you build up crypto, the less time you need to build up your max Krypton energy. So these guys will also do really good in PvP once you get this guy built up a little bit. So I think there's a lot of great things that crypto does for the team. He also, other than the crypto meter, the Krypton energy meter, I mean, that's very specific to the Superman team, but he's also fairly plug and play with some other teams that I've been playing around with as well. Just the healing, the shields, knocking enemies down, reducing incoming damage. He is a fantastic support. So he is my #1 priority when we talk about gear. Right now I have this on him for the energy gain bonus as well as the increased healing, because again, he doesn't heal as well as my Starfire, so I wanted some additional healing there. As far as force, here's what I'm focused on right now. I'm focused on the healing amp, and then I'm also focused on his, right here, his attack percentage. So I'm going for attack percentage first. Let's see, you've also got this, increases attack percentage, so I'll be going for that. Let's see, let me go ahead and max this one, that out right there. And then right here, amount of healing of good boys increased by 3%, but I'm gonna go for attack first because that's what all of his healing is based on. So I'm gonna go with that right now. All right. Very cool. All right, so that's what I'm focused on there. So the healing amp, the attack percentage, this right here for his attack percentage. And then once I max that out, everything else is flat stats. Let's see, he does buff based off his own defense, but there's nothing in here that increases defense, right? So once I max this out, then I'm going to go for this because this increases healing. And then I'm going to go for this as well, and this because this increases healing. I want to maximize his healing, and then I'll go ahead and fill everything else out. So that's my force priority for him. And that's the gear. Now the thing with gear, is I've got, let me go ahead, hit replace. I've got Starheart staff on Superboy right now. Once I get Superboy's Mythic Plus Legacy piece, I'm going to swap the Starheart staff and put that on Crypto. And the reason there, HP, energy gain, cast the ultimate allies within 10 meters, gets an attack bonus as well as defense and men, so buffs up that defense just a little bit more. So I think that's going to be really good. And then I'll have his weapon on him. So he's my first priority when it comes to the Superman family. And I feel that you put enough investment in him. I need one more purple. And then I'll have that 6 Krypton energy. You're not going to go wrong with that. All right, let's talk about the next priority. Now, the next priority, this is a little bit difficult because as I was talking with some of the other creators in the chat, like Tyvaka shared this screenshot showing Supergirl doing a lot more damage than Superman. A lot of my experience with Supergirl is that she rivals Superman. Superman doesn't do as much damage. I've shared some screenshots of that. But here's the thing, too. I mean, she does very well with AoE damage bosses in Combat Cycle. And there's some bosses that she does very well in, even if they're single-target bosses, but and rivals Superman's damage. Superman, just so you know, just to go over, I've got him max force right now. I've got his cape. I mean, obviously, I've got him maxed out. Supergirl, I've got her. I don't have her force maxed out. I'm continually building this out. And as far as gear, I don't have her weapon. I'm using this for energy gain bonus as well as increasing HP, and at the start of battle increases allies attack as well. So that's what I'm using for right now. So where am I falling? I think this is personal preference, but for me, it's Supergirl. Supergirl is priority number 2 after Crypto. And the reason for that is the amount of damage. The Krypton energy meter, I was talking about this earlier, you get that maxed out, her damage skyrockets. I mean, she went, just her and Crypto on a team, I went from like 4 million up to 11 million damage with her. Yes, that's on an AoE damage boss, but that still cranked up her damage quite a bit. I don't know anything that cranks up Superman's damage that much. But here's the thing too, like I said, she rivals him. She's only within like just a little bit away from Superman when it comes to battling against the single target bosses. But like I said, her force isn't fully built up. I don't have her cape. Because of that, and she's still kind of right there with Superman, I feel that she's a better second priority because full force investment in Superman, and there's nothing more that I can do here. So I would go for Supergirl here. The gear, like I said, is this. I am going for her cape as well, so I'll have her weapon also. And then as far as force here, just taking a look at her kit, right? So she draws in freezing air, exhales an icy blast, dealing physical damage to 300% of her attack. So attack obviously is going to be critical here. This here increases defense and men by 15% at the start of battle for each Superman family on the board. So just having her and them, we're increasing more defense and men, which is awesome. Supergirl gains an additional stack of defense and men, stacking up to five times. Over here, increases attack by 10% at the start of battle for each Superman family. Obviously, this team is meant to work together. Supergirl's ultimate damage is increased by 10%, stacking up to 5 times. So you've got that as well. And then her ultimate here, this is where when you watch her damage, she's going up into the millions once you have that Krypton energy meter maxed out. So she channels her power, dealing physical damage to 375% of her attack. And then you've got the Krypton energy levels and what that does. But it's insane. It's very cool to see the amount of damage that she pulls in. So when it comes to force, I was focused on a few things here. I wanted to focus on her physical penetration to increase that damage. Also, my crit rate I am focused on, as well as over here, my attack percentage. When we take a look at these over here, this reduces the cooldown of Arctic Breath by just not much. So I'm not really focused too much on that. This increases attack, so that's one thing I'm focused on as well. This over here increases her crit rate. So I'll be focused on that. So once I have all of those maxed out, I'll go for the other ones like the HP. I haven't had problems at all with her HP and dying too soon. Everything else is pretty much flat stats except for the HP. So that's my focus for her as far as force goes. So priority number 1 is Crypto. Priority number 2, in my opinion, is going to be Supergirl. That could be very player specific. Priority number 3 is going to be Superman.
I am Superman.
But not so much on the force side. You're going to spend a lot of your force on Crypto and Supergirl. Build up Superman. You want that single target damage. He's still a great character. He's still an S tier character, and I think Supergirl will probably jump up there too, along with Crypto if I don't already have him there. But he does damage based on his attack, physical damage there. He's got slow, this frozen, which is very cool. Just incapacitates the target. Does some physical damage there. His defense increases by 30%, but at the start of battle, he also gains a stack of attack up for the Superman family, which is awesome. And then his ultimate here, he just does 1 permanent stack of solar energy before dealing physical damage equal to 925% of his attack to an enemy. So obviously that's going to be a huge focus for him. And then solar energy just increases his attack by 15%, stacking up 3 times. So I think everybody's pretty familiar with his kit. I feel there's a lot more variety, and when you take a look at Crypto and Supergirl's kits, there's a lot more to it though. He's just straight up damage. When we go to force, I did max everything out. For here, I was more focused on attack boost first. And then let's see. This reduces target's defense, which helps with your single target damage combat cycle. So I felt that worked out pretty well. Also, his attack percentage here. Over here, this reduces the cooldown by 2 full seconds. I don't think that's critical. I think your attack and your this right here, reducing the defense, is priority first. And then obviously this one here is physical penetration boost, but eventually you'll max everything out. But because of how much investment this took, it still didn't create a wide gap between him and Supergirl. A lot of this investment I would then go into Supergirl and Crypto. But that brings me also to the 4th character, and he is fantastic. So don't think that the reason I have him down as the number 4 priority as him not being good. He is absolutely fantastic. But here's the thing. He doesn't require a whole lot of investment to be good. And that is good because that allows you to save some of that force for Crypto and Supergirl. So let's just talk about his kit here really quick. He does some physical damage based on his attack in an area in front of him. This is cool, though. It reduces the physical defense by 5% until the end of battle. He's got a permanent debuff, which is awesome, right? This one right here, he strengthens his resolve, reducing damage taken from ranged skills. So this really helps by 24%. That is huge. So that helps his survivability. Over here, during battle, as Krypton energy changes, Connor's attack increases by 20%, which is fantastic. He does a decent amount of damage. And then his ultimate here, he unleashes his telekinetic power, increasing attack by 17% of his base attack for both himself and the ally with the highest attack. He prioritizes Supergirl. If Supergirl doesn't have the highest attack, it goes to the next person, obviously. Let's see. This effect is capped at 57% of the target base attack each time, stacks up to 3 times, and lasts until the end of battle. The end of battle stuff is absolutely phenomenal for this guy. The ally also becomes immune to control effects for 1 time, and then the attack bonus is doubled for Superman family. So they're just, he is a fantastic hero. He does not require a whole lot of investment. When we talk about his force, so I've got nothing in here on him right now, and he still does very, very well for me. So in here, though, one of my focuses is going to be this energy restoration. Obviously, the quicker he restores his energy, the more he can launch his skills and his ultimates. Let's see, the other one here. Obviously, I want this, his defense. And then where is it? The attack percentages I'm going to boost up here as well. So, but he doesn't require a lot, so you can go slow. The first thing I'm going to go for is max this energy restoration speed and stop at that. Actually, how much can I get up there right now? Yeah, I can get up there right now and do a few. Get his energy restoration speed up there. There we go. I am going to max that out first. That's my first priority with this guy. He just doesn't need a lot. He's really good. He's very similar. One of the other creators mentioned it too. He's very similar to Zatanna in that way. She is fantastic. She doesn't require a ton of investment to be useful. So let's talk about summoning priorities, right? Because Crypto, we don't have to worry about summoning. We've got him in mother boxes and we've got him in the selectable packs. Summoning priority, though, for me, is I would get Superboy first. I would get him up to that to the 5 blue star first. I'd do Supergirl second, and then I would get Superman last. But it also depends on when they enter your bleed. If they're all together at the same time, or they just come naturally. I don't know the next time we're going to see him. There's not been a really good rotation. They just put some previous bleed characters in for some fillers when a character's not ready, so we can't really project that. But when they're in their bleed, summon for them. If they're all in your bleed at the same time, I would go Superboy, Supergirl, and Superman. That's my priority, at least right now. But you want to raise them all together, right? So make sure that you take that into consideration too if you're going all in on the Superman family. All right, that's a lot. We talked about this for quite a while. Those are my thoughts on the Superman family. I think they're a great team. I can't wait to max them out and just see what Endgame looks like for them. And I can't wait to see who that 5th character is. As far as that goes, some characters that fit pretty well. This is a physical damage team, so Nightwing's going to fit pretty well in there, especially paired up with Superboy. And he typically has more attack than my Supergirl, so he gets the buff, the attack buff there. If you need some extra healing, Starfire works out very well. Flash works out very well also, just because he constantly allows to chain ultimates, which helps build up your Krypton energy. However, once you get Crypto up high enough, that Krypton energy is building up pretty quick. You may not need him as much, but he still allows you to proc those ults. And once you have that Krypton energy maxed out, like I said, Supergirl just does some massive damage. So those are a few characters that I feel would fit very well as that 5th character on this team. All right, everybody, that's what I had for you. Very curious. What do you think of the team? What do you think about the prioritization? Is yours completely different? I'd love to hear from all of you as well. All right, everybody, that's what I had for you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.